It's Bones here. In today's video, we'll be taking the chains off of Duelist Nexus as we cover what I believe is one of the more powerful strategies from this set. But before that, if you're a fan of in-depth combo videos and some out-of-the-box ideas, then become an abomination by destroying those thumbs up and subscribe buttons. This first combo will consist of Aruha and Escape, and we'll be able to use the Aruha, popping either the Escape or the Abominable. You can even have the Imprison or the Search card, I forget the name of it, but you'll be able to get yourself the Sarama. Use the effect of the Sarama to destroy the Aruha and get back our Escape, and now we can use the Aruha in order to get our Rakia, as we then use the Rakia in order to destroy our Sarama so that we can get ourselves the first new card, the Unchained Soul Sharvara or whatever it's called, and it reads that during either main phase, while this card is in your hand, quick effect, you can target one fiend monster or set card you control. Destroy it, and if you do, special summon this card, but while it is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon monsters except fiend monsters. The second effect reads, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can set one Unchained spell trap directly from your deck. And this is a really strong card, as not only does it give you an extra Aruha while in hand, it just has the ability to tutor out your Unchained spell traps, which gives more consistency to the deck while also being a level 6. Now we'll be able to go into our second new card, the Unchained God Yama, and I forget the TCG name of it, but it's a link to Dark Fiend. It takes two Fiend monsters, and it reads, if this card is special summoned, you can add one Unchained monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And that's a hard once per turn, a really strong effect, as the second effect is also a hard once per turn. It reads, if a card you control is destroyed by battle or card effect while this card is in the graveyard, you can banish this card. Special summon one Fiend monster from your hand or graveyard, then you can destroy one card you control. So this is not only just recurability, give you a sort of a grind game if you have it in the graveyard for your opponent's turn, but this is even an extender during your own turns that can help you push beyond on some of your combos to make your board stronger. So we're now going to use the Yama along with the Unchained Soul in order to get ourselves the Abominable along with the add back of the Soul so that we can use the Soul, and then pop the Abominable so that we can use the Abominable, and now we'll get our final new card, the Unchained Soul Shayama, and this one reads, you can target one card you control, destroy it. Then you can destroy one spell trap on the field. The second effect reads, if this card is in the graveyard, you can target one fiend monster or set card you control, destroy it. And if you do, special summon this card but banish it when it leaves the field. And this is another strong effect because it just helps you play through more interruptions while it's in the graveyard if anything happens to your bird. So we'll then be able to go into our Rage, as we'll then be able to use the effect of the water one in our graveyard, as we'll pop the Rage in order to trigger the Rage and the Yama, as we'll get ourselves the Sarama back to our hand and then special summon back the Rage, as we'll then be able to go into our Caesar, and if you would like to, you can make the Machina, as going second, this can also lead you into Zeus. For this second combo, we have Rakia plus Abominable, and we'll start this one by setting the Abominable, normal summoning the Rakia. We can then use the Rakia to pop the Abominable. We'll then get the effects of the Abominable to get our Sarama, then use the Sarama to pop the Rakia so that we can get back our Abominable, and from here we can get the Rakia's effect in order to continue to roll our engine through, as we're going to get our Unchained Soul Fire one along with the Yama, then get the effects in order to get ourselves an extra set for the Escape, along with the addition of the Aruha. Use the Aruha to pop the Escape, and this will give us two extra bodies on board with the Aruha along with the special summon from the Escape, as we'll get ourselves the Unchained Soul Water one. And now we're going to go into our Rage, as we can activate the Shayama in order to pop the Aruha and then trigger our Rage or the Yama in the graveyard. And I would also like to point out that the reason that I didn't destroy the Rage is because we can still get a special summon off of the Aruha, so we'll be able to bring out our Rakia, and then we can also bring out our Unchained Soul Sharvara, which will give us the rank 6 access or the Machinex access / Zeus access, whatever you're going for. For this next combo, we have the Sharvara along with the Aruha, and this is another cool combo because it means when you have these two, you can just normal summon the Aruha and not really care about using its on-hand effect, as you can get it back with the Yama anyways. But we'll now go into our Yama, as we're going to use the effects of the Yama along with the Sharvara so that we can set the Escape and get ourselves back the Aruha. And now we're going to use the effect of the Shayama to get itself back, popping the Yama, then use the effect of the Aruha to pop the trap so that we can special summon out the Aruha, use the effects of the Yama along with the Escape so that we can get our two extra bodies out, as we'll bring out the Sarama along with the Sharvara, go into our Caesar. We can then use the Sarama in order to get ourselves back the escape. And I would like to point out that I will show a second version of this combo because there is something else different that you can do. But for the first board, you can pop either your Aruha or Sarama here. It really doesn't matter because you can't get their special summon effects for the rest of this turn since we've already used both, and we'll be able to end our board on this. Now for the second iteration of the combo, and I would also like to point out that I didn't point out in the previous combo, this actually takes the Sharvara plus any Unchained twin monster, and we're going to be able to pop the Sarama, and we'll then use the effect of the Sarama in order to get ourselves the Shyama, and then we can go into our Yamas. We'll then use the effect of the Yama along with the Sharvara so that we can set the escape, get ourselves the addition of the Aruha so that we can then use the effect of the Shyama, pop the Yama, and then get ourselves the effect of the Aruha in hand so that we can pop the escape, and then get ourselves the extra body on board via the escape and the Yama, as we'll then be able to bring out the Sharvara along with the Disaster. And I bring out the Disaster because if you're going second, you can get the effect in order to link away with an opponent's monster. You can also get yourself an Unchained twin if you want to go into a rank 3 and then Zeus, or whatever you want to do, but we're going to now go into our Caesar. We'll then link away. If you're going first, you can go into your Unchained Soul of Rage like this. Now onto the 3-card combos before I get onto the variants. And we have the Sharvara along with the Rakia and the Abominable, and we're going to start this one by normal summoning the Rakia with the set Abominable on board, and in this hand we can actually chain block our graveyard effects by quick effect Sharvara on the Rakia. So now we can special summon out the Sarama and the Shyama in order to continue to get our plays rolling, as we're then going to use the effect of the Sarama to get back our Abominable. We'll destroy the Unchained Sharvara to get us our escape, and then we'll go into our Yama, as we're then going to use the Yama to get us our Aruha, activate our Shyama so that we can pop the Yama and get it back, as then we can activate the Aruha. And similar to the previous combos, we'll just be able to continue extending from here as we can bring back the level 6 off of the Yama, get another body that we're going to get the Disaster this time around, go into our Caesar, we can then go into our Rage. You can link away with the Rage if you're going second, but we can just end on that. Now for the second combo, and I want to show a similar combo to the previous one, but we're going to activate the Prison, get ourselves the addition of the Aruha, as we'll then be able to set the escape and then use the Aruha in order to special summon it out by destroying the escape. Use the escape in order to get ourselves the Sarama. Use the Sarama as we'll then be able to get back the escape by popping the Aruha. Then use the Aruha in order to get ourselves the Rakia. Then use the Rakia in order to pop the Sarama. And that will continue the Ring of Life as we're going to get our Unchained Soul Shyama. And from here we can then go into our Yama, as we'll be able to use the Yama to get our addition of the Rakia, as we'll then use the Shyama to pop the Yama so that we can special summon it back, normal summon the Rakia because we had it normal summoned, then use the Unchained Soul Sharvara so that we can special summon out itself along with triggering the effects of Rakia and the Yama to get more bodies on board, as we're going to get back the Rakia via the Yama and then special summon out the Sharvara off of the Rakia. And then we're going to go into our Caesar, as now we can link away into our Rage, use the effect of the Sharvara, which will allow us to get the Abominable from deck, and we can end our turn on that. Now, for the first of the two variants, we have the Live Twin version, and I actually want to show two combos with this one, as we're going to be able to use our normal summon for the Leela, use its effect in order to get our Kiss-a-Kill, then link away into the Leela, as we'll be able to revive a Kiss-a-Kill, and then go into our Leela, or we'll go into our Kiss-a-Kill so that we can bring back the Leela, as we set our Unchained, Spell Trap, whichever one you get, and then you can use your Leela in order to pop it so that you can use its effect in order to get your special summon of Aruha. And now you can go into your Unchained Soul Yama with the two Evil Twin monsters so that we can get ourselves the search for the Unchained Soul Sharvara. And you've seen this before, as we have the Unchained Soul Sharvara and the Aruha, except this time around we do have the Yama on board, which is pretty nice, as we'll be able to use the Sarama in order to get back the Aruha, and this will be important for your end board, as we're going to go into our Rage now, and then use the effect of the Sharvara, which will give us the escape, and the Aruha is actually what you want to use for your escape, as ideally you want to link away with your Rage, one of your opponent's monsters. For this next combo, the Evenly is just a discard, so you can disregard that, and we're going to start here by activating or normal summoning the Leela, use its effect for the Kiss-a-Kill, and then we can go into our Leela in order to bring back the Kiss-a-Kill, then we can go into our Kiss-a-Kill so that we can bring back the Leela, as we'll also be able to set our Unchained Spell Trap, as we'll then use the effect of the Leela, use the effect of the Prison to get our Aruha, and now we can go into our Trouble Sunny, as we'll then go to our opponent's turn, where we're going to use the effect of the Trouble Sunny so that we can get a draw and a pop, and that pop will essentially turn into a Unchained Soul Abominable, or however you say its name, and we're going to be able to get a pop plus discard, showing off a little bit of what this engine can do. Now, for the adventure version of the deck, I'll only show one replay of it because it's a lot more straightforward, and the point is to get Gryphon so that you don't get nibbed. And we're going to get ourselves the right, use its effect in order to get ourselves the token along with the Fateful. Activate the Fateful so that we can get ourselves the Gryphon Rider. We'll pitch one as we'll then be able to activate the Gryphon Rider, get ourselves the Fateful effect in order to get ourselves the Draco back. And now we can use the effect of the Prison in order to get ourselves the Search for the Aruha. And now we have Combo, as we're going to pop the Escape, special summon out the Aruha. And as you see with the Aruha, you can just avoid your normal summoning plays, which is what makes the Adventure engine kind of solid. You do have the bricks that you have to play when you already play so many traps, so you do have to keep that in mind, as we're going to get our Rakia, pop the Sarama, and then you can use the effect of the Sarama to bring out the Unchained Soul Sharvara, go into your Yama, use the effect of the Yama along with the Sharvara to set the Unchained Soul Abominable, or whatever the name of the trap is, as you'll then be able to use the effect of the Sharvara in order to special summon out itself, and then use the effect of the Abominable in order to get out the Shyama, go into the Rage, then use the effect of the Shyama to bring itself out, popping the Sharvara. Use the effect of the Yama, which will allow you to bring back the Sharvara so that you can go into your Caesar, and we can end our board on that. Now, for a bonus replay, something I want to clear up around playing through Nib, this deck actually can play through it pretty well depending on the circumstance, and I'm going to show off one of those scenarios where we're going to add ourselves the Ash. We don't have any response to Nib. As our opponent is going to get a free Nib on us, we're going to just combo off here, then use the effect of our trap in order to get ourselves the Sharvara, and now we can go normal summon our Sarama so that we can get back the Abominable, which our opponent will imperm, and now we can go into our Yama with the Sarama and the Unchained Soul, as we'll be able to get ourselves an add along with the set of the Escape, which is pretty nice, as we'll then be able to add back the Unchained Soul, popping the Aruha, and then using its effect in order to get ourselves the extra special summon for the Shyama, and now our opponent will use the Nib on us. Now, because we got the Escape earlier in our turn isn't dead, because we can use the Shyama now to pop the Escape, and then we can use the Escape in order to get an extra summon while also having the Yama in graveyard, which means that we can get even an extra special summon off of that. With 2 level 6s on board and access to Unchained Soul Disaster, while our opponent has Nibiru on board, we can actually go into our Caesar, then use the Disaster to link away into Rage, as we'll then be able to set the Imperm, and through Nib, we have 4 interruptions, along with an Imperm that we had to play through, as our opponent will draw Sprite Blue for turn, as they're going to activate the Upstart, and they're just going to scoop on that. So with all of the replays out of the way, I can finally get onto the deck profile, and I really don't want to waste too much time on doing deck profiles for the variants, because as you see, there's so much going second base that what you're doing in regards to deck building for the other engines that you want to play is just removing whatever going second cards you want to remove, and then replace them with the ratios or your Evil Twin or your adventure stuff. If you do want to play the Evil Twin stuff and you need to adjust the extra deck, what you're really just removing is the Muckracker along with the Zeus stuff. You can even take out a copy of Rage in order to fit whatever else you may want to fit in for the Live Twin stuff. But overall, I do feel like I like the pure version quite a bit, just because of how many going second cards you're able to play while being able to combo off with so few cards and so many few card combinations in order to get you to where you want to go. The Abomination's Prison being a searcher for any of your Unchained stuff is crazy in hindsight, where you're just able to make Aruha hands, Aruha plus Escape hands, or you're able to make Escape and Abomination's Prison hands, Escape plus Aruha, and little things like that. The 3 Prosperity is also for consistency. You'll notice that I am on just 1 Shyama, 1 Disaster, and 1 Soul, and the reason for this is because with the new cards, you really don't need to bother playing more copies of them, considering that the Yama can get back either one of them that you need. The Shyama can special summon itself back, But then on top of that, you have the ability to set one of your Unchained traps off of the Darvara, which just makes it so that you can get an extra potential pop to special summon them out from the deck. And overall, I just happen to really like these ratios. Over the 2 Rakia and the 1 Sarama, I do feel that the Rakia is the better normal summon because it helps you play through more stuff. While the Sarama is really there, home run hitter in the sense of you're trying to make a bigger board when you resolve this because you're able to get an extra trap. As you saw in one of the previous combos, with something like Rakia, you have the ability to actually chain block your stuff. I think I went through everything I wanted to go through in the combos. We have the 1 Unchained Soul, we have the 1 Disaster, the 1 Shyama, the 3 Sharvara, the 3 Aruhas, the 2 Rakias, the 1 Sarama, the 3 Unchained Abominable, the 3 Escape, the 3 Abominations Prison, the 3 Prosperity, the 3 Dark Rulers, the 3 Fenriers, the 3 Ash Blossoms, the 3 Imperms, the 1 Evenly, Talents, the 2 Thrust to round out the main deck. To the extra deck, we have the 3 Rage, the 2 Yamas, the 2 Anguish, the 2 Abomination, the 1 Muckracker, the 1 Underworld Goddess, the DDD Darius, the Caesar, the Machinex, along with the Zeus to round out the deck profile. So for everyone who's made it this far into the video, I thank you so much for watching, and for the 500 plus subs, I truly appreciate your support. We've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships, which means more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get the channel membership, just click on the description below, and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. I was wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows. Anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing out.